LivePerson is the leading provider of conversational commerce solutions. Conversational commerce enables brands to message with their consumers, to answer questions, provide information, and complete transactions in the messaging channels that we already use every day. Our conversational platform gives brands powerful orchestration tools and the automation capabilities needed to manage brand-to-consumer conversations at scale. Let's take a deeper look at our conversational platform and the new automation tools and capabilities that help brands scale conversations using machine learning and AI. First, we have the Conversation Builder that enables brands to easily build and design conversational bots. Creating automated conversations is as easy as typing out a dialogue, allowing even non-technical staff to design bots. The Conversation Builder will automatically match the responses to the intents or entities, like product color, replacing the code-based programming that typically requires a dedicated programmer. The Conversation Builder also provides a simple way to link to back-end systems and use them in conversations, such as integrating to product catalogs, order status systems, or knowledge bases. Brands can get a head start by leveraging a rich library of pre-built vertical-specific conversation templates that cover many of the most common intents. The Conversation Manager gives agents and managers a suite of tools to help them best manage high volumes of conversations, whether they're handled by agents or bots. The Conversation Manager prioritizes incoming conversations for agents, suggests automated responses and workflows based on the intent, and incorporates customized content directly into the agent workspace. The results are highly efficient agents that are able to handle over 40 messaging conversations concurrently. Conversation Intelligence is a set of dashboards and reports that provide real-time trends and actionable insights across all conversations. Conversation Intelligence takes the true voice of the customer, an inquiry or intent spoken in their own natural language, and turns it into intelligence that can be used to spot trends or make business decisions. LivePerson's AI engine, Maven, is the brain that underpins our conversational platform. The engine reviews each response, looking at intent, sentiment, and other indicators to then find tasks that can be automated. For example, the Agent Assist app recommends available and qualified bots that an agent can opt to have take over the conversation. For more information or to sign up for our early access program, please visit liveperson.com/AI.
IBM's Watson is at the forefront of a new era of computing, cognitive computing. It's a radically new kind of computing, very different from the programmable systems that preceded it, as different as those systems were from the tabulating machines of a century ago. Conventional computing solutions, based on mathematical principles that emanate from the 1940s, are programmed based on rules and logic intended to derive mathematically precise answers, often following a rigid decision tree approach. But with today's wealth of big data and the need for more complex, evidence-based decisions, such a rigid approach often breaks or fails to keep up with available information. Cognitive computing enables people to create a profoundly new kind of value, finding answers and insights locked away in volumes of data. Whether we consider a doctor diagnosing a patient, a wealth manager advising a client on their retirement portfolio, or even a chef creating a new recipe, they need new approaches to put into context the volume of information they deal with on a daily basis in order to derive value from it. This process serves to enhance human expertise. Watson and its cognitive capabilities mirror some of the key cognitive elements of human expertise. Systems that reason about problems like a human does. When we as humans seek to understand something and to make a decision, we go through 4 key steps. First, we observe visible phenomena and bodies of evidence. Second, we draw on what we know to interpret what we're seeing, to generate hypotheses about what it means. Third, we evaluate which hypotheses are right or wrong. Finally, we decide, choosing the option that seems best and acting accordingly. Just as humans become experts by going through the process of observation, evaluation, and decision-making, cognitive systems like Watson use similar processes to reason about the information they read. Watson can also do this at massive speed and scale. So how does Watson do it? Unlike conventional approaches to computing, which can only handle neatly organized structured data, such as what is stored in a database, Watson can understand unstructured data, which is 80% of data today. All of the information that is produced primarily by humans for other humans to consume. This includes everything from literature, articles, research reports, to blogs, posts, and tweets. While structured data is governed by well-defined fields that contain well-specified information, Watson relies on natural language, which is governed by rules of grammar, context, and culture. It's implicit, ambiguous, complex, and a challenge to process. While all human language is difficult to parse, certain idioms can be particularly challenging. In English, for instance, we can feel blue because it's raining cats and dogs, while we're filling in a form someone asked us to fill out. When it comes to text, Watson doesn't just look for keyword matches or synonyms like a search engine. It actually reads and interprets text like a person. It does this by breaking down a sentence grammatically, relationally, and structurally, discerning meaning from the semantics of the written material. Watson understands context. This is very different than simple speech recognition, which is how a computer translates human speech into a set of words. Watson tries to understand the real intent of the user's language and uses that understanding to possibly extract logical responses and draw inferences to potential answers through a broad array of linguistic models and algorithms. When Watson goes to work in a particular field, it learns the language, the jargon, and the mode of thought of that domain. Take the term cancer, for instance. There are many different types of cancer, and each type has different symptoms and treatments. However, those symptoms can also be associated with diseases other than cancer. Treatments can have side effects and affect people differently depending on many factors. Watson evaluates standard of care practices and thousands of pages of literature that capture the best science in the field. And from all of that, Watson identifies the therapies that offer the best choices for the doctor to consider in their treatment of the patient. With the guidance of human experts, Watson collects the knowledge required to have literacy in a particular domain, what's called a corpus of knowledge. Collecting a corpus starts with loading the relevant body of literature into Watson. Building the corpus also requires some human intervention to cull through the information and discard anything that is out of date, poorly regarded, or immaterial to the problem domain. We refer to this as curating the content. Next, the data is pre-processed by Watson, building indices and other metadata that make working with that content more efficient. This is known as ingestion. At this time, Watson may also create a knowledge graph to assist in answering more precise questions. Now that Watson has ingested the corpus, it needs to be trained by a human expert to learn how to interpret the information. To learn the best possible responses and acquire the ability to find patterns, Watson partners with experts who train it in using an approach called machine learning. An expert will upload training data into Watson in the form of question-answer pairs that serve as ground truth. This doesn't give Watson explicit answers for every question it will receive, but rather teaches it the linguistic patterns of meaning in the domain. Once Watson has been trained on QA pairs, it continues to learn through ongoing interaction. Interactions between users and Watson are periodically reviewed by experts and fed back into the system to help Watson better interpret information. Likewise, as new information is published, Watson is updated so that it's constantly adapting to shifts in knowledge and linguistic interpretation in any given field. Watson is now ready to respond to questions about highly complex situations and quickly provide a range of potential responses and recommendations that are backed by evidence. It's also prepared to identify new insights or patterns locked away in information. From metallurgists looking for new alloys to researchers looking to develop more effective drugs, human experts are using Watson to uncover new possibilities in data and make better evidence-based decisions. Across all of these different applications, there is a common approach that Watson follows. After identifying parts of speech in a question or inquiry, it generates hypotheses. Watson then looks for evidence to support or refute the hypotheses. It scores each passage based on statistical modeling for each piece of evidence, known as weighted evidence scores. Watson estimates its confidence based on how high the response is rated during evidence scoring and ranking. In essence, Watson is able to run analytics against a body of data to glean insights, which Watson can turn into inspirations, allowing human experts to make better and more informed decisions. Across an organization, Watson scales and democratizes expertise by surfacing accurate responses and answers to an inquiry or question. Watson also accelerates expertise by surfacing a set of possibilities from a large body of data, saving valuable time. Today, Watson is revolutionizing the way we make decisions, become experts, and share expertise in fields as diverse as law, medicine, and even cooking. Further, Watson is discovering and offering answers and patterns we hadn't known existed faster than any person or group of people ever could, in ways that make a material difference every day. Most important of all, Watson learns, adapts, and keeps getting smarter. It actually gains value with age by learning from its interactions with us and from its own successes and failures, just like we do. So, now that you know how it works, how do these ideas inspire how you work? How can Watson make you a better expert? What will you do with Watson?
Nobody really wants to make a phone call. Typically, email is a little too much. So you want to do it in the ways that you want to, which is messaging. Text messaging, Facebook Messenger, through the brand's app.
Right now, it's kind of a mess. A brand has 8, 10 touch points with a consumer across different social networks, an email relationship, a call center. For the first time, messaging is a platform that can reach every consumer. The biggest problem, the primary one, is this terrible legacy voice system. And so it's kind of absurd that you have to spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes on hold with a large company that you're paying, you'll do business with them. So it's both terrible for consumers. They can't stand 800 numbers, voice calls, the IVR, hold music, all these things that make people kind of see red, they're angry.
Everybody here has made a customer service phone call and you walk away and you're like, this is horrible. But think about that life as an agent. They're getting that constantly from the other side all day long, almost no breaks, right? And so there's heavy attrition in that industry. It's upwards of 40% in some cases, which is a very, very large attrition number. Working with the Watson team has been amazing, fantastic. With Watson's the leading AI out there, right? There's almost nobody that's even close at this point in time. And so when we take our leading platform and a leading AI such as Watson, and we pull them together, it elevates the platform to a much bigger level.
In our system, Watson is like an agent itself. Watson sits alongside human agents. If Watson can't answer something, the system passes it seamlessly to a human agent.
We're cutting costs for brands. We're increasing conversations. More conversations are coming through. We're giving agents a better job. We're allowing them to up-level their jobs. We're allowing them to think about things in the right way and really use their intelligence across the board in a better way. I've seen certain situations, very specific situations in certain departments where we're getting to 80% of conversations being resolved by the AI. And that's a pretty fantastic number.
Agents are judged on things like CSAT, the customer satisfaction. You can do the same thing with Watson. Virtual agents, digital agents, they can and they should be measured just like humans are.
I think that brands are going to be putting messaging front and center. We're going to move into a future that there's going to be less apps and less complex websites. It's all going to be inside that conversation. The brands that make it the most seamless for you to reach them on messaging are going to win.
You can bring the best of the AI world and the human world into a single system, totally seamlessly, and make customers happy. So the first time in history that you've had 100% access to people 100% of the time. And that as a premise kind of changes the way that brands and consumers will interact with each other.
Messaging is here. And it's not just another communication channel, but the channel of choice for today's consumer. It has a powerful impact on brand-to-consumer relationships and opens the door for longer-lasting, more meaningful connections. Every brand should be messaging with their customers. But where do you start? LiveEngage is the leading brand-to-consumer messaging platform built for businesses like yours. With messaging, consumers have the freedom to choose when to engage with you, starting a conversation that always stays connected. Unlike live chat, messaging moves the focus from real time to real life, creating connections at any time and from any location. In-app, on the web, through through SMS, or even Facebook Messenger. LiveEngage collects all of these connections and brings them into one easy-to-set-up, simple-to-use platform. For customer care professionals, LiveEngage has tools made especially for messaging. It gives agents the ability to build long-term relationships by proactively following up with consumers days or even weeks later. LiveEngage also routes messages to the group best fitted to answer and helps agents prioritize conversations. All interactions are tracked as they occur, providing managers with valuable data about the entire messaging operation, your customers, and how they feel about your brand. Above all, LiveEngage is a platform built for volume and scalability, able to handle any level of traffic smoothly and with world-class certified and proven security. It's time for brands to join the conversation and start creating more meaningful connections through LiveEngage messaging.
Welcome to the IBM Watson Natural Language Understanding Service. The volume of unstructured content available is rapidly growing as news articles, tweets, blog posts, and more are published online constantly. As a developer, do you need a way for your app to understand the complexities of human language to derive fast, meaningful insights that may otherwise be missed from these large quantities of data? The Natural Language Understanding Service is a set of sophisticated natural language processing capabilities that allow users to analyze text and extract metadata from content such as concepts, entities, keywords, categories, relations, semantic roles, sentiment, and emotion. In this video, you'll see how easy it is to analyze and draw insights from your content. You'll also find out how to use a custom annotation model that was developed using IBM Watson Knowledge Studio to identify industry or domain-specific entities and relations. The example in this video analyzes a news article about how IBM's supercomputer is bringing AI-fueled cancer care to everyday Americans. To start using the service, first log into your Bluemix account. You'll find the Natural Language Understanding Service in the catalog. You can input the article in plain text, HTML, or a link to a public web page. If you upload HTML or provide a URL, the service cleans and normalizes the data by extracting the important text and removing ads and other peripheral content. Next, you analyze the article content using sophisticated natural language processing techniques. First, you specify the concepts, entities, and keywords as the parameters you want to analyze. You also can analyze the text to identify sentiment and emotion. Find out if the sentiment of the article and entities is positive or negative. Gain insights into the emotions the writer was feeling. Using natural language understanding, you can determine where in the article the writer is expressing anger, disgust, sadness, fear, or joy. Watson Natural Language Understanding also analyzes categories, relations, semantic roles, and other metadata. Use the custom models developed using IBM Watson Knowledge Studio within the Natural Language Understanding service to tailor the solution by extracting domain-specific entities and relations. In this example, you could create a custom model tailored to oncology or healthcare to extract domain-specific entities you want to identify in our analysis. You can refer to the Watson Knowledge Studio documentation for instructions on how to deploy a trained model to the Natural Language Understanding service. Now that you know how the Natural Language Understanding service can extract metadata from unstructured content, you can incorporate this service into powerful applications that help you derive insights from your unstructured text. Get started using Natural Language Understanding and other Watson developer services today. Customers expect instant and personalized service at every interaction, regardless of the communication channel they choose. When they don't get what they need, when they need it, customers are quick to look for alternatives. Enabling customers to serve themselves makes sense. However, traditional methods of doing so have not always been successful. Some, like interactive voice response systems, lack personalization and provide a frustrating experience. Others, like live chat, require human interaction, exponentially increasing headcount. Virtual agents are rapidly becoming popular as self-service platforms, but often they are difficult to build and costly to maintain. Introducing Watson Virtual Agent, a new way to provide the instant, personalized service that your customers need. Watson Virtual Agent comes pre-trained with industry and common customer service content and provides an easy-to-use interface to configure your virtual agent without adjusting code. The Engagement Metrics dashboard provides access to rich analytics about conversations customers are having with your virtual agent. Watson Virtual Agent is delivered entirely in the cloud as a software-as-a-service offering, which allows for seamless delivery of the most up-to-date content to provide your customers with relevant and useful interactions. Customers can engage with Watson in a conversational way on a variety of devices, just as you would with another person. Your virtual agent is trained to recognize a customer need and provide a personalized response. Whether that's a map of store locations or a quick way to pay bills, customers receive a response directly within the chat. Watson has been pre-trained on common customer service needs and adds value immediately. It provides the flexibility to ensure the best possible responses for your customer service environment. Modify the pre-trained responses like Find Nearest Store to provide a unique answer for your business. As you provide more information, you can see how your updates affect the responses your customers will see. Don't like the response? Change it right away. Or leverage the Watson Conversation service to define a custom dialogue flow and response to questions in a way that is truly unique to your environment. If customers ask questions that you want your staff to handle, you can easily configure Watson to hand off the conversation to a human agent. Additionally, you can turn off conversation capabilities that are not applicable to your environment. Once you have Watson configured just the way you want, making the chat tool available to your customers is as simple as taking a small snippet of code and embedding it in your website. If you want to further drill down into the data, you can export and combine it with your own analytics tools, or share it with your colleagues, making it easy for your whole business to better understand your customers. Because Watson Virtual Agent is a SaaS solution, there's no installation required, and it's easy to set up and maintain. Simply access the service via your web browser. We are constantly improving Watson Virtual Agent and its content, and these updates are delivered seamlessly in the background on a regular basis. Watson Virtual Agent is changing the way businesses interact with their customers. Request a free trial today and see how Virtual Agent can improve the speed and effectiveness of your customer service.
Over 1 billion people use WhatsApp to message with friends and family. Now, with WhatsApp Business, brands can leverage this popular channel and give their consumers an easy way to ask questions, purchase products, and get help. Using LivePerson's conversational platform, your brand can efficiently manage conversations over WhatsApp Business and other popular messaging channels. WhatsApp Business conversations can begin through your brand's IVR with proactive notifications or through consumer-initiated click-to-chat. You can offer consumers that reach your IVR system the option to skip the queue and begin messaging over WhatsApp instead. Messaging is typically 2 to 4 times more efficient than voice calls, providing a better experience for your customers. Your brand can also send proactive notifications to engage consumers over WhatsApp Business. These messages, known as business activity alerts, can be integrated with your business systems to send real-time notifications to customers and keep them informed about their account. Consumers can also initiate conversations by messaging an advertised WhatsApp phone number or tapping on a click-to-chat button. This button can be configured on your brand's website, app, or other digital assets. When your brand's business profile is confirmed by WhatsApp, it will be considered verified. A verified business profile receives a green checkmark that is visible to consumers in the contact view, and the verified brand name will also appear in the chat list, contact view, and chat screens. LivePerson's platform uses AI to understand intent and route conversations to the right skill. Once the conversation has been routed, the agent will then receive the message in their messaging workspace. This workspace is a centralized location for agents to manage conversations from WhatsApp Business and other messaging channels. Utilizing the platform's built-in tools and analytics, agents can communicate more effectively at scale. Agent widgets provide valuable consumer information, while predefined content helps agents respond in a consistent and timely manner. The integrations and bots that brands build for other messaging channels within LivePerson's platform automatically apply to WhatsApp Business and any channels the brand adopts in the future. Empowered by automation and innovative operational tools, LivePerson's platform makes it easy for brands and consumers to communicate over WhatsApp Business. To get started with WhatsApp Business, request a demo at liveperson.com/liveengage/WhatsApp.